Hello everyone. From today I am starting with a new video series on the topic systems of classification. We know that the factor which differentiate our planet Earth from other planets of our solar system is life. Enormous variety of life is present on the planet Earth. Approximately 5 to 30 million different species of plant and animal is reported on Earth. Generally life present everywhere on the planet Earth, right from desert into deep seas and from land to deep space, as well as few microorganisms also present in the hot water springs and north and south pole of our planet Earth. So in this lecture I'm going to focus on one of the most important system of the classification of the living organisms on the planet Earth, which is Whittaker's five kingdom system of classification. Before starting with the actual five kingdom system, I just want to discuss few other systems which is reported by different scientists before Whittaker's. First system which is reported for classification of the organism is in 1735 by Linnaeus. He divide life or the organism which is present on the earth into two kingdom, like kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. We have to remember that Linnaeus made these two kingdom before discovery of microorganisms. So at that time peoples were believing that on earth only two different types of living organisms are present. So he make two kingdom like kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. After Linnaeus, Haeckel proposed the next system of classification in 1866, and in his system he proposed three different kingdom like kingdom Protista, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. That means Haeckel keep two kingdom of Linnaeus as it is, only he add another kingdom which is Protist. After Haeckel in 1956, Copeland proposed a system of classification in which he introduced fourth kingdom as a Monera. That means in a Copeland system of classification, there are four different kingdom like kingdom Monera, Protista, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So these three are the important systems which is discovered by the scientist before the classic system which is proposed by R.H. Whittaker. After the Copeland, Robert H. Whittaker in 1969 proposed five kingdom system of classification. R.H. Whittaker is one of the well-known American plant ecologist who proposed this system. His system having five different groups, large group of the organism like kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. That means Whittaker keep Copeland system as it is, only add one more kingdom in it, which is kingdom Fungi. Okay, so in this lecture, I'm going to discuss about the characteristic of organism which he placed in every five kingdom. Due to huge diversity of the life on the earth, it is literally impossible to remember character of every organism for human being without their proper classification. So this classification system help us to understand the organism more clearly, identify it with ease, and you can then place the organism into different kingdoms. Okay, taxonomy is the branch of biology which deals with the collection, identification, nomenclature and classification of the organisms. So it is one of the most important branch of the biology that work in the classification field of the microorganisms or all organisms present on the earth. According to Whittaker, first kingdom is kingdom Monera. So before starting with the system, remember that when I'm moving from my right to left or your left to right, the complexity of the organism going to increase. Most simple organism we take our place in the kingdom Monera, while highly advanced organism he included in kingdom Animalia. Okay, so complexity will going to increase when we are going to move from your left to your right. Okay, so first kingdom is kingdom Monera. In this lecture, I am going to explain the concept of Whittaker's five kingdom system, while in upcoming videos, I am going to focus on each kingdom in detail. So first kingdom Monera include organisms which are prokaryotic. Okay, so we are going to see each kingdom one by one. First is Monera. it having prokaryotic organisms. Pro means primitive, karya means nucleus. That means Monera contain organisms which do not have well developed, well organized nucleus. Nucleus is without nuclear membrane, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, histone proteins are absent, and DNA is directly suspended into the cytoplasm. That means true chromosomes are also absent in the prokaryotic cell. So this is quite simple cell in which DNA is not having a separate compartment which is nucleus. Okay, all other kingdom except kingdom Monera is eukaryotic. Here you can see Protista is eukaryotic, Fungi is also eukaryotic, Plantae and Animalia, we know that advanced kingdom, and they also have eukaryotic cell. Okay, so what is eukaryotic? Eu means advanced, karya means nucleus. These organisms have well developed, well organized structure in which DNA is present. Okay, nucleus having well developed nuclear membrane, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, histone proteins are also present which interact with the DNA, and a well developed chromosome also observed in the eukaryotic cell. So this is the first difference which is present between Monera and all other kingdoms. Okay, the next point is cellular organization. These Monerans are unicellular. That means kingdom Monera have all the organisms which is made up of single cells, okay, like bacteria. While Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia have eukaryotic cell. Okay, out of these four kingdom, only Protista have unicellular eukaryotes. Okay, all other three kingdoms have multicellular eukaryotes. So remember one thing, Monera have prokaryotic unicellular cell, Protista have eukaryotic unicellular cell, while Fungi, Plantae and Animalia have eukaryotic multicellular cell. Okay, so Monera is the kingdom of the organism which are prokaryotic, unicellular, and nucleus is absent. As they are prokaryotic, nucleus is absent in the Monerans. Okay, the next characteristic feature of Monerans is cell wall. The cell wall of the Monera is generally made up of peptidoglycans. Okay, they have a cell wall, well developed cell wall, and cell wall generally composed of peptidoglycan like gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Okay, then cell organelles are absent. As it is a prokaryotic organism, cell is having simple structure, and cell organelle like mitochondria, chloroplast, ribosomes are generally present 70 years, while all other cell organelles are absent in the kingdom Monera. The next point is motility. Monerans may show motility sometime because of the presence of flagella. Okay, a hair-like structure is present on the cell which help in the motility. So sometimes Monera show motility while some organisms in this kingdom are non-motile. So I have written plus minus. Okay, the next is mode of nutrition. The Monerans mainly obtain food by autotrophic, heterotrophic, parasitic and saprophytic mode of nutrition. What is autotrophic mode of nutrition? The nutrition in which organism able to synthesize their own food material with the help of sunlight. Okay, that means they are able to perform photosynthesis. So this Monera also have organism like some photosynthetic bacteria which are autotrophic. Then some bacteria are heterotrophic, that means they are not able to make their own food material. They depend upon autotrophic organism for food, for energy. Okay, some Monerans are parasitic, means they depend on other organisms for their food material. Okay, they are parasitic, they depend upon host organisms. And some are saprophytic. Saprophytic means organism which live on dead and decaying material. Okay, saprophytic mode of nutrition is absorptive type of mode of nutrition in which organism directly do not ingest the food, but it digests the food outside the body and then absorb the digested material. So it is called as saprophytic or absorptive mode of nutrition. This four type of mode of nutrition is observed in the Monera. Then They can show reproduction by asexual methods like binary fission or budding. Okay, sexual reproduction are generally absent in the monerans like meiosis, or gametes are not produced or zygotes are absent in the monerans. Okay, so they show mainly asexual mode of reproduction. Generally, there are three important types of organisms which is present in the kingdom Monera, like Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and Mycoplasma. What is Archaebacteria? Archae means ancient or old, and bacteria. So they are prokaryotic old organisms, ancient organisms. These Archaebacteria are generally present in extreme environment. Okay, unfavorable conditions generally suit for Archaebacteria, and they are divided into number of different classes like methanogens, which present at a high concentration of the anaerobic condition in methane area. Then they also present in high salt concentration like halophiles. Then they are acidophiles. Okay, so all the type of organism which grow in unfavorable conditions are generally present in Archaebacteria. Then Eubacteria is a modern day bacteria, true bacteria, which grow by autotrophic as well as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That means Eubacteria is classified into two groups, autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophic eubacteria generally show two different type of mechanisms. Either they produce food by photosynthesis like blue-green algae, okay, anabena, nostoc, or sometimes they show chemosynthesis. That means they are going to produce food by using sulfur as a terminal electron acceptor. So eubacteria is divided into two types, autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph show two different type of mode of nutrition, that is photosynthesis and chemosynthesis, while heterotrophic bacteria are all other bacteria which is known to the microbiologists like E. coli, Pseudomonas, Streptococcus, Staphylococcus. All the organisms which is not able to produce their own food material are placed in heterotrophic eubacteria. The last type of organism which is present in the Monera is Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma are the cells which do not have cell walls. Okay, they only have cell membranes. So these are the smallest cell or smallest organism generally reported on the planet Earth. Okay, so this is all about kingdom Monera. For understanding, you should comparatively see all five kingdom at a time. Okay, so first is kingdom Monera. Okay, generally kingdom Monera have organism which is made up of cell wall composed of peptidoglycan. Okay, Archaebacteria also have cell wall which is made up of pseudopeptidoglycan. The structure is quite different from the normal peptidoglycan. Then Eubacteria having cell wall made up of peptidoglycan, while Mycoplasma lack cell wall. So generally Whittaker used few criteria for classification of the organism in this system of classification, like cellularity, if it is unicellular or multicellular. Then mode of nutrition, whether it is autotrophic, heterotrophic, parasitic or saprophytic. Then a mode of reproduction. Okay, so the next kingdom is Protista. The second kingdom, the Protista having quite developed organism when we compare with Monerans. Okay, Protista is a eukaryotic unicellular organism. Why we keep this organism separate from all other eukaryotes? Because fungi, Plantae and Animalia are multicellular eukaryotic organism, while Protista is unicellular eukaryotes. And as it is a eukaryotic cell, so nucleus is present. Well-developed nucleus with nucleolus, nuclear membrane, histone proteins and chromosomes are seen inside the Protistan cells. Okay. Now, cell wall of the Protista is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins. Okay. Then cell organelles are present. As it is a eukaryotic cell, Protista show all the type of advanced cell organelle like mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum. Motility is present, and it is due to flagella, and in some Protistans motility is absent. Okay, that means they are non-motile. Then they show mode of nutrition like autotrophic, heterotrophic, saprophytic, and parasitic. That means mode of nutrition of protistans is similar with that of the Monera. Then reproduction is asexual or sexual by gamete formation. Male and female gametes are produced, and after fusion of gamete, zygote is produced. So it is a sexual mode of nutrition, while sometimes they show asexual mode of reproduction with the help of spores. Okay, so protistans are nothing but the link between simple Monera and complex fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So this is the kingdom which shows some characteristic of the Moneras, while many other characters are similar with the advanced kingdom like Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Now there are 4 different types of the Protista. Okay, so Protista kingdom is divided into 4 subtypes. First is fungus-like protist. Name itself suggests this is the group of protists in which the organism shows similarity with the fungi. That means cell wall is made up of chitin. They show saprophytic or absorptive mode of nutrition like fungi. Okay, they are generally heterotrophic organisms. Okay, now example of fungi like protist is slime mold. Remember thing. Well-known example of this type of protist is slime molds. Next protist class is plant-like protist. Okay, this is the group of the protist which show character like kingdom Plantae. They are eukaryotic, unicellular, and they show photosynthetic or autotrophic mode of nutrition. They have ability to produce their own food material. Okay, they are generally non-motile. Cell wall of the plant-like protist is made up of cellulose, and well-known examples of plant-like protist is dinoflagellates, diatoms, desmis. Okay, so dinoflagellates is nothing but the protist which having 2 flagella. Di means 2 flagella at a 90-degree angle. Okay, they are motile. Okay, then diatoms are nothing but the golden algae. These diatoms show presence of silica in their cell wall, and when sunlight fall on the cell wall, they view as a golden structure. Okay, so we call the diatom as a golden algae. So both these organisms come under plant-like protist. Now the third class of the protist is animal-like protist. This is the class in which animal-like protists are present, which is eukaryotic, multicellular, show heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and generally reproduce by sexual method. Okay, example of animal-like protist is amoeba and paramecium. Okay, well-known organisms which is present in the animal-like protist. Another example of the this class of protist is pathogen which is responsible for disease, malaria. Okay, malarial parasite, that is plasmodium, which is also example of animal-like protist. The last type or last class of the protist is euglenoid. Okay, this is the protist which is generally autotrophic or photosynthetic organism, but sometime in absence of light they behave as heterotrophic organisms. Okay, and the well-known example of euglenoid is euglena. Okay, you can remember this organism as organism which having both the type of mode of nutrition, autotrophic in presence of light and heterotrophic in absence of light. This is all about kingdom protist. Now the next kingdom is fungi. As I told earlier, it is a eukaryotic multicellular organisms. Okay, nucleus is present, well developed nucleus is present with ATS ribosome in the cytoplasm, and cell wall of the fungi is made up of chitin. Okay, the homopolysaccharide which is present in the cell wall of the fungi, and cell organelles are present. Well developed cell with all the type of cell organelles are present. Then motility is sometime present and sometime absent. Okay, then they show, this is the important characteristic of the fungi, they show saprophytic mode of nutrition. That means they cannot directly ingest the food, but they secrete some extracellular digestive enzymes which will going to digest the food material, and then they absorb the food. Okay, so it is called as absorptive food, absorptive mode of nutrition or saprophytic mode of nutrition. This is the characteristic feature of all the fungi. Then they reproduce by vegetative, asexual, and sexual mode of nutrition. There are 4 different classes of the fungi in kingdom 3, which is Phycomycetes, also called as algal fungi, Ascomycetes or sac fungi, then Basidomycetes or club fungi, while Deuteromycetes or imperfect fungi. I am going to discuss about detail of these classes in my upcoming videos. The second last kingdom of Whittaker 5 kingdom system is kingdom Plantae. As I am going from left to right, complexity is increasing. The Plantae is eukaryotic organisms. All the plants are eukaryotic and they are multicellular. Remember one thing, all the plants are multicellular. Some plants, some organisms which are unicellular but show photosynthesis, we transfer them into this plant-like protist. So now all the plants which is included in the kingdom Plantae are eukaryotic and multicellular. Then well-developed nucleus is present as it is a eukaryotic cell. Cell wall of the plant is made up of cellulose. Okay. Then cell organelles are present. Motility is absent. Plants are sedentary. Generally, plants do not show motility or locomotion. Then they grow or reproduce by vegetative, asexual, and sexual method. Vegetative reproduction takes place with the help of plant parts like branch. Okay, asexual reproduction of the plant take place with the help of spores, while sexual reproduction take place with the help of gamete. Fertilization process occur, male and female gametes. So all the 3 important type of mode of reproduction is observed in the kingdom Plantae. And now kingdom Plantae is divided into 5 divisions. That means in the kingdom Plantae, divisions are present, while in case of kingdom Animalia, phylums are present. Animal kingdom is divided into phylum, while plant kingdom is divided into divisions. First division of the kingdom Plantae is algae. The well-known example of algae is Spirogyra. Okay. Second division of the kingdom Plantae is bryophyta, also called as moss plant. These bryophytes grow on the land, that means they are terrestrial, but for fertilization purpose, they require water. So sometimes they may called as amphibian plant. Okay, grow on the land but require water for movement of the gametes and fertilization. Then third division of the kingdom Plantae is pteridophytes, thallus plant. Pteridophytes are the first known plant on the earth which show vascular system, like xylem for transport of water and mineral and phloem for transport of food. So pteridophytes may also refer as first successful vascular plant on the earth. The example of pteridophyte is Nephrolithis fern, while example of bryophytes is Funaria. Second last division of the kingdom Plantae is Gymnosperms. Okay, they are woody, evergreen, tall plants. Okay, and you have to remember gymnosperm as gymno means naked and sperma means seed. This is the division of the kingdom Plantae in which plants are present and seeds of these plants are naked without fruit. That means they will not going to show presence of flower or presence of fruit. They are non-flowering plants. Okay, an example, well-known example of gymnosperm is cycas. The last division of the kingdom Plantae is angiosperms. Angio means enclosed and sperms means seed. They have cover to their seed, that means they possess fruits, okay, and flowers. So these are the flowering plants of kingdom Plantae. Okay, so first 4 are non-flowering plants, while these angiosperms are flowering plants, which is the most complex plant of this kingdom. When we go from algae to angiosperms, complexity going to increase. Okay, angiosperm is divided into 2 classes like cotyledon, dicotyledons and monocotyledon plants. Okay, we are going to discuss about these 5 divisions of the kingdom Plantae in my upcoming videos. Example of angiosperms is all flowering plant like sunflower, rose. Okay, the last kingdom of the Whittaker's five kingdom system is kingdom Animalia. Okay, we human got place in this kingdom. Kingdom Animalia is a eukaryotic organism kingdom, and they are generally multicellular. Okay, nucleus is present in eukaryotic organisms. In animals, cell wall is absent. Okay, this is the most important characteristic feature of the animal. We animal do not have cell wall around our cells, but cell membrane is present. Do not confuse both the terms. Cell membrane is present in the animal cell, which is a selective permeability barrier, but cell wall is absent. Cell organelles are present, well developed cell organelles are present. Another important feature is motility. Literally all animals are motile. They show locomotion with the help of limbs or legs. Some of the animals like sponges do not show locomotion, they are sedentary, they grow by attaching to the solid surface. Okay, but most of the animals are motile. Then they are heterotrophic. The mode of nutrition of the kingdom Animalia is heterotrophic. They are unable to produce their own food material. They depend upon autotrophic organism like plant for their food. Okay, then generally sexual mode of reproduction is produced. Male and female gametes are produced with the help of meiosis, and then after fusion of the gamete, zygote is developed. Okay, so this is the sexual mode of reproduction which is observed in the kingdom Animalia. Then this kingdom Animalia is divided into phylums. There are total 11 different phylums which is placed into two groups. First 10 phylum is non-chordates animal, while last phylum is of chordates. Okay, so 10 phylums are included in the non-chordates, the animal which do not show rigid cartilaginous cord in their body. Okay, and this non-chordates group include 10 phylum like Porifera, Coelenterata, Stenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, and Hemichordata. While the last group include phylum chordates. I am going to discuss about all the phylums, their characteristic feature, important examples in my upcoming videos. So in this lecture, we discuss about the early systems of classification in which Linnaeus, Haeckel and Copeland try to classify the organisms, and finally we focus on well developed, well accepted system of classification which is proposed by R.H. Whittaker in 1969, which is a five kingdom system. The system having five kingdom like Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. The system having advantages like all the organisms which is present on the earth got proper place in the system. Okay, unicellular photosynthetic organism got place in the fungi like protist. Okay, the organism which is grow as a photosynthetic or heterotrophic mode of nutrition get place in the euglenoid. Okay, the Whittaker differentiate prokaryotic organism from all other eukaryotic organism, and all bacteria or all prokaryotic organism get place in the first kingdom, which is Monera, which he divided into three types like Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Mycoplasma. Some drawbacks of this system is that viruses, important life forms, do not get any place in any of the kingdom in R.H. Whittaker's five kingdom system of classification. This is the major drawback of this system. In my next video, I am going to discuss each kingdom of this system in detail. Thank you.